This is the Colamy Aether, and I've been sitting on this chair every day for the last 7 days for work, for play, for any time I've been sitting down at my desk, which is quite a lot. And I just want to give my honest to God thoughts of this chair, the good, the bad, the ugly, and my honest to God review. We're going to get straight into it, starting from the top down. So we're going to start with the backrest here, fully mesh backrest, which feels quite high quality. It's sturdy, it's breathable, which has been very important for the last few weeks here in Ireland because we've had a mini heat wave, so it's been appreciated. I have nothing but good things to say about the backrest. I have a bit of experience using mesh backrest chairs now, and to be honest, this feels comfortable. I've used it wearing t-shirts, haven't really worn jumpers, so I can't say that, but wearing t-shirts or, weird word, being bareback. And I've found it very comfortable. To be honest, I haven't noticed it, which is my biggest compliment when it comes to it. It hasn't annoyed me and it just feels normal. So I really like it. Turning it around, we have our lumbar support system here, which is quite straightforward to use. Up, down, that's all it is. And to be perfectly honest, it's quite subtle. It's nice. It does give a little bit of support. And in comparison to the Colamy Atlas, which I've been using for the last 12 months, this is probably a lot better for the vast majority of people. The most feedback that I have seen on the Colamy Atlas's lumbar support is that it is too aggressive because it is a hard plastic digging into your back. My honest to God review is that I really like aggressive lumbar supports and I actually don't find the Atlas that bad, but this is much more subtle because it is actually cushioned. And it is quite a bit bigger than the Colamy Atlas's lumbar support system. So instead of it being very small and focused, this is pretty evenly distributed across the whole lower section of your back. So it's not that aggressive, it's quite subtle, but it still offers support. And I would say this is going to be a much preferred option for the vast majority of people. So it's really good. Moving on to the armrests. So you have 4D adjustable armrests, which at this price point weren't really common before, but are starting to become much more common at the moment. And the armrests are really good. The big step up from the Atlas's armrest, to be perfectly honest. So they are 4D adjustable, as I've mentioned. So they go forward and backwards, side to side, diagonally, and they will also go up and down. So pretty good across the board. They are also slightly padded. However, I wish they were slightly more padded, as they can be a little bit rough, or a little bit hard is the word, but not enough that it's actually going to hurt your arms. But the best part of the armrest for me, in comparison to the Atlas, which again I use for the last 12 months, is that the armrest will actually go with you when you recline, which the Atlas doesn't. So it's a really good positive, and nothing but good things to say about the armrest here. So then we're going on to the base of the seat. So I'm going to start with the adjustments first. So on the right hand side here, you have a lever which will put it up and down. And then on the left hand side, you have two adjustments. So the first one is for seat pan. So it essentially goes in if you're on a little bit of the shorter side, and out if you need more under thigh support if you are a little bit taller. This is a feature that you don't really see at a £200 or below price point. So it's really good. I wouldn't have a chair without it anymore because, to be perfectly honest, I always need the chair fully extended to give me the maximum support for my legs, because proportionally my legs are a bit bigger than my torso, so I do need full seat pan adjustment. So it's really appreciated. It's a really good feature. If you've never had it before and you're looking at chairs in and around this price point, this is something that I would say is a deal winner, opposite to a deal breaker. A deal winner if you're comparing it to some other brands or chairs, because most at the £200 price or below will just not have it. So it's really, really good. It works. It's super easy to use as well. And once it's set and forget. And then if you do have multiple people in your house of multiple different heights, which is normal, you can adjust it as you need. And then the last adjustment here is your recline. So it is a weight activated system, very similar to other Colamy chairs and a lot of chairs in and around the mid price to low price budget. Quite straightforward to use. You just tap the lever there and then put your weight slightly into it, and then it'll start going back. And it has 4 different levels of recline, including the fully upright position. And as I've mentioned in my Atlas review, I use each recline function at different points of the day, generally starting at a 90-degree and then slowly working my way down as my productivity starts to slip. So one thing that I want to note comparatively to the Atlas is that the recline function on the Aether is much quieter. The Atlas is quite clicky, and other chairs can be quite clicky or loud. The Aether is almost silent. I'm not going to say fully because there is still a click, but comparatively to my Atlas, this is essentially silent. I want to note that that could change over time, but for the first week, even 10 days, it hasn't changed. Moving on to the seat cushion. Again, another really strong point of the chair. It isn't mesh, it is a foam seat, which I'll be perfectly honest is my preference because I prefer more support here, whereas mesh chairs can, even though they're aired out and offer more breathability, generally don't offer as much support or comfort for long-term sitting. So I do prefer foam seats. Volume-wise, it is quite a large surface area. It is a lot smaller than the Atlas overall, but it is plenty for vast majority of people. And the seat itself is quite firm. So it's not a really soft sink-in seat, which in my personal opinion, sounds really nice, but in terms of comfort and health as well, isn't a good thing if you're going to be sitting for 6, 8, 10 hours a day. So firm cushions are much better and will last quite a bit longer. And overall, it's really good. Last but not least, the base and the casters, which I find the most uninteresting part of a chair. It's a nylon base. The casters all work fine. I generally use them on carpet. It's obviously on a wooden floor at the moment. You can always change them out for silent casters, which I see a lot of people doing. I personally don't care that much, so I never do it. But the option is there. Very straightforward to put this whole chair together. I will have a sped up version of me actually assembling the chair without really reading the instructions at the end, and you can see how straightforward it is there and then. The main negatives I have of this chair aren't actually what's included, it's what's not included. And something that I have got very fond of and used to is a headrest. Not having a headrest on this chair has been incredibly noticeable for me over the last week. The Atlas has a headrest and it moves forward and back. It's quite adjustable, and once you get used to it, it's actually really difficult to have a chair without one. So that is a big downside for me on the Aether. If a headrest isn't something you care about or like, then the Aether is probably going to tick every other box for you, and I'd highly recommend it. However, if a headrest is a deal breaker for you, I think the Atlas is a better chair overall, even with the Atlas's negatives taken into account. But one thing I do want to note is there is actually screw points here for a headrest, but there is no option to add a headrest at purchase or to even purchase one afterwards for it. I do think the Atlas and other Colamy headrests probably will fit, but I haven't tested that. But I would love to see an option to add a headrest to this later down the line or purchase one separately, because I think with an adjustable headrest that goes back and forth, this chair will be almost perfect. And I would confidently say, even without it, is the best chair at this price point, feature-wise, comfort-wise, comparing to anything that is 200 quid or below. I just don't see you getting anything more feature-rich. And it comes with a 3-year warranty. So if you do have any issues, Colamy, from what I've seen in comments, other reviews and whatnot, are quite good at honoring any defects or issues. So within the first 3 years, if you do have an issue, you're going to get it sorted quite easily. I honest to God think this chair is near perfect, especially for the price. So I think the list price across the board, so in the US, the EU, and the UK, is roughly 250 quid in each region. But with discounts taken into consideration, you can actually get this chair for less than 200 quid, which is it's just really good. When you're comparing it to other chairs at this price point at the moment, the features are just so much better on this chair. The quality feels really good. and you have a 3-year warranty included. So it, even worst case scenario, it died exactly 3 years to the day. It's quite cheap for what you're getting. So I expect this chair to last 5, 6, 7 years, as I've had chairs which have been terrible quality last 5 years. But I would recommend anyone who is thinking about a chair at this price point. Lastly, I'd like to thank Colamy for sending me the Aether. This is not a paid ad by any means, and all opinions are my own. Anything I thought was bad, I'm going to mention it. Anything that I think is good, I'm going to mention it. I'm just going to give my honest to God review. I do have affiliate links in the description which add a discount to each chair. That is everything from me. If anyone does have any questions about this chair, please leave a comment and I will get back to you. If anyone has experiences with this chair, please let me know what you think, good, bad, or ugly. From what I've seen, it is very subjective, and a chair that can be good for me or that I recommend could be absolutely terrible for someone else, and a chair that could be great for someone else could be absolutely terrible for me. So please leave a comment if you have a question or just an opinion on this chair or any chair to that matter. And if there are any chairs that you would like to see me review, please comment that as well. But if you did get to this part of the video, I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.